you call it? Hey everyone, welcome to the latest episode of Nephew Hours. It's a special edition show. We got ourselves, the trade deadline that happened this morning. Well, pretty much the past whole week. Um, it was pretty hectic to start off to begin with. So essentially, we're just gonna kind of break down all the trades that have happened and everything that's gone through, and kind of give our thoughts to it. And I think Dan's phone is going off.
No, it isn't. I turned it off.
But
Look, it's Maury. He's saying he's having second thoughts.
uh-huh.
He's actually
I hate.
offering 4 first-round picks now.
Yeah.
Still no Thibault though. So
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about, a lot of trades that went down, so we can go right into it. First one that kind of broke, that kind of broke the whole thing open. Chicago came out of nowhere,
off the top
and
rope, just
I know out of nowhere just came out and said, we're gonna start everything going.
Gucci Mane,
Um,
get over here.
I know Chicago, traded Wendell Carter Jr. and 2 first-round picks. In return, they got Nikola Vucevic and Alfarouq Amino.
It's like a
Yeah,
pretty
that's a pretty legitimate bomb from Woj this morning. So,
that
what are your thoughts on this one?
with Masai's blue balling. This is probably, I would say, the either biggest or second biggest trade of the whole deadline. This is because I didn't think anyone saw this coming. I think people
Mm,
kind of knew deep down Vooch probably not in the long term plans of Orlando just because of his age. I don't think people would have said, "Oh yeah, Chicago is a destination," because
yeah,
it's not as if Chicago. I don't want to like make it sound like Chicago's awful. They're not. They're like an okay team, but they're kind of mediocre, middle of the East.
yeah,
Although really everyone between like 4 and what 13 is in the middle of the East. They're all within like 4
yeah,
games of each other.
pretty much.
Um, no, I would say overall decent trade. I think the Magic probably got maybe a little less than I would have expected, but I think maybe I'm just kind of thinking in inflated numbers because of people like Holiday and
Mhm.
But honestly, I would say this is a big W for the Bulls. And look, fact is they have Zach LaVine. Everyone's talking about, okay, Zach LaVine. Well, is he going to be traded? Is he going to be traded?
Well,
And I
he's
think
still
that
there.
not only that, I think this is a way of making sure. Yeah, no, look, Zach LaVine, we care about you. We want you here. You're our star player, and we're going to get you another star to play
Mhm.
alongside.
Oh yeah. My initial thought for this trade was Orlando's definitely like blowing everything up now. That was my
For
initial
sure.
thought. They like heading into it, no one thought like, oh hey, we're trading Vucevic, right? So seeing this totally, blew everything open. Like this is it, Orlando's blowing it all up. And so from my point of view, I think Orlando got fleeced. Like
I,
Chicago. Obviously got the great like Alfred Camino is Alfred Camino. Like no one really, but
I've
Chicago
never
got
seen the guy play.
like so Chicago got Nikola Vucevic, who's like an all-star talent and one of the best centers in the league. Sure, Orlando gets a potential high potential guy in Wendell Carter Jr. And 2 first-round picks. Like I mean, with Wendell Carter Jr., like like you don't know like what you're gonna get because again he is high potential, but like so far in his career he's like shown not much.
Question: what are the protections on those picks?
As far as I've read, I don't know if there's any protections yet. I haven't read any so
If
far.
there are no protections, then I'm kind of like I would say Orlando won that because look, there's I even with Vucevic, there's no guarantee the Bulls are good. But
Mhm.
I will say, look, I think now they're probably going
Oh,
to be
and
a playoff
sorry,
team.
they're sending Otto Porter Jr. as well.
He's
Sorry,
all right.
which I feel
He's
like he's gonna get bought out regardless, though. Uh,
I'll be honest, I don't remember if he's good or not.
He's been having a good year in Chicago, but I feel like he's a buyout candidate. I keep a look at that. He's a buyout candidate. I feel like.
Yeah, no,
Um, I've been told that these picks are unprotected.
that could be like meaningless. Or if the Bulls, let's say a team that has been underperforming in the regular season, like the, hypothetically, the Toronto Raptors, baby,
I hate you.
uh,
I just knew that you were gonna
knock
do it.
them out in the
I
playoffs.
just I
Say the Toronto Raptors, baby, knock them out in the play-in tournament.
I knew
Uh,
you I knew it. I why do I
why do you invite me on this show? I
why do
don't
I
know. We're gonna
why
be
do I
the
expect
most annoying first round out for the
why do I
Sixers
expect anything
or the
different
Nets.
every time?
We're gonna go to like 7 games. It's
I
gonna be
hate
terrible. We're gonna make you play triple overtime. We're
I
gonna
know.
lose, but we're gonna look damn good
I
doing
know
it.
it'll be like game 4 and it's triple overtime. You still lose, but like in a sweep.
No, it'll be
And
like,
then-
it'll be a 4-game sweep. It'll be like triple overtime in every
Oh,
single game.
God, I hate you. Anyway, going back to it. Look, I don't know. Chicago's a big time winner in this because you get Vucevic who's in his prime. Um,
I mean, he's
and
30, but yeah, no,
he's still in his prime. He's an all-star, he's an all-star caliber
he's
player.
really good.
Yeah, and offensively he's great. Defensively, yeah, sure, has some issues, but he's still great. Like, um, he's one of the best centers in the league, in my opinion. And you
I think
pair him up
he might
with
be
Zach
third
Levine.
team this year. Uh, the
You know,
Zach Levine, Vucevic pick and roll. And the thing about Vucevic and Zach Levine, they can both shoot, and they can
that's
both
what I'm
shoot like
saying.
real
Yes,
well.
and they following it up too, like the Bulls front office and head coach Billy Donovan. But they both wanted to have like a solid veteran presence, and they got that solid veteran presence
Like
who can again. Um,
right
do I wish
now, oh,
do I
sorry.
wish that Chicago did one more trade that I'll mention? I'll mention later on in the show. Yes, it would have completed like the dream Chicago team I had for this that they currently have, but
Which they still might
obviously
get in the off
they
season, to be
they
honest.
could, yeah, and we'll bring that up later. But again, I think it's so far it's a Chicago easily got a good deal out of that one. What did you want to what did you want to say before I accidentally cut you off?
No, look, I think the most important thing is this shows, yeah, no, we care about this team. Is we're not trying to tank or we're not trying to just be another bottom feeding team, like a sucker fish on the side of an aquarium trying to get draft picks. No,
Hmm.
we care about this core. We think we have a good enough team to at the very least make the playoffs. And look, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone expects to win on their first playoff berth, but after that, it's like, you know what? We'll attract some other players. We'll see where it goes. And I think that's a
Well,
perfectly reasonable route to take.
so what I'm saying, so I think with Chicago, Chicago makes the playoffs. They're probably like a first round out route, right? If anything, they'll put up a fight. Is that what you're trying to get at here?
They don't even need to like the first round out put up like look, let's be real, they're not gonna beat the Bucks, they're not gonna beat the Nets, they're not gonna beat the
Yeah,
Sixers. No
that's what I'm saying
disrespect
though.
to the
Like,
Bulls, but look, nobody gets a championship, or very rarely do you get a championship on your first playoff run.
so
um
I think though with
unless,
it,
unless you're the Brooklyn Nets apparently,
yes,
but because
I
they didn't make the playoffs last year, that didn't happen.
I, I think the thing is though, you're trying to build a winning culture. Like the Bulls players don't know what winning is because they have not actually won anything. Because
They're learning.
yeah, but this is like their actual season. They're actually like starting to actually win games, right? And so I think it builds more onto the team that, hey, like we're building a winning culture. Maybe people want to come to Chicago. You know, we already have Zach Levine and Nikola Vucevic. One more player can maybe put us over and make us like a contender. Who knows, right? But again, I still think Chicago got the better deal out of it. But moving along with the Orlando fire sale, right after that we got the reported Boston Orlando trade that we thought was going to happen, but not really. Um, Boston
This makes
only
no
got
sense to me.
Boston only got Evan Fournier, but they only gave up 2 second rounders to Orlando. According to Mark Stein of the New York Times, the only reason why Boston only had to give up 2 second rounders was because they had the leverage because they had the trade exception to use that they used part of it on, that they didn't have to give up any salary. So that's why. But yeah, look, before like I'm gonna say it, once, I'm gonna say it all. I said it once, I'll say it all the time. Danny Ainge is overrated as a GM. He practically sleepwalked his
Real
way into.
GMs play chicken with each other and nobody leaves happy. That's what real GMs do.
He literally slept walked right into that. You know,
It's like obviously you take that, but like I'm surprised it only took 2 first-round picks, even with the trade exception, because Fournier's
it's
pretty
not even
good.
first round picks; it's second round
Sorry,
picks.
second-round picks. What did I
Yeah,
say? Fournier's pretty good. He's averaging 20 on
yeah,
decent efficiency. I'm not saying he's doing that on like a great team. And
mm,
look, I think apparently 4 of the 5 people who started in the last Magic game are now being traded to different teams. T.
yeah.
Ross is now the captain of the Magic,
I know.
which is going to be like every like 8 games or so he'll score like 45 points. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, but
And then
he's
he'll
also
be
the
like,
tank commander now.
yeah, he'll be mediocre for the rest of that.
but
He's
but
he's like worse Fred Van Vliet, but
but going back to it, like how look, it's just Boston has a ton of issues, right? Realistically, like how much is Evan Fournier? Again, he's having a pretty solid year. 20 20 wins or 20 win, not 20 wins. Sorry, 20 points per game. I think 5-5. I believe. I don't remember off the top of my head. But how much help do you think Fournier provides for Boston? Um,
Boston doesn't need any more wing scoring. They have arguably the best wing scoring in the league. Like even that was, and that's after losing Hayward. Okay, well look, okay, that not the Nets. All right, we get
okay,
it. Okay,
okay,
jeez,
for sure.
or the
I
Clippers.
say,
Okay, they have good wing scoring. How about that? They have good
yeah.
wing
Thank you. There
scoring.
you go.
Okay,
Thank
jeez.
you.
I know they're
Gosh.
not the Nets, they're not the Clippers, but they have good wing scoring.
Yeah,
Um,
I get it. They have Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, yes, and the corpse of Kemba Walker.
he's actually doing well again now. It's
We all know how this goes. we all know how it goes.
he cooked us in the playoffs too many times for me to be
Yeah,
like,
but like, let's be real here.
"Ooh."
Like, come on, come on. He's different. It's different now.
He's a year older. He's 31. But look, I was gonna say some people's games age better, but Kemba did. That's usually people who don't rely a lot on explosiveness and athleticism. Kemba's always relied, I think, more on that than someone like CP3 or Lowry.
Yeah, I guess so.
So he'll fall off a little bit, but I don't. I think his demise is greatly exaggerated.
Oh, but I mean, like, still though, like, I get it. Like, you could say it's exaggerated. I get it,
The
but
point
it's
is
like
this. I think we're getting off topic. I'm sorry.
it's all right. No, you're good. But like, I don't know. Like, sure. I mean, Evan, what the starting lineup now would be what? Like Kemba, Fournier, Brown, Tatum,
Tristan Thompson,
Tristan Thompson, I guess. I don't know. Well,
or they
or Time
Fournier
Lord,
comes off the
or Time
bench.
Lord,
Robin Williams. Did I just
or
say
Time
Robin
Lord,
Williams?
Robert Williams the third, Time Lord.
No, I just called him Robin Williams.
Oh gosh.
Uh, they called him the genie. But look, he is not solving any of the Celtics' biggest problems. The Celtics' biggest
That's what I'm
problems
saying.
are that yeah, they
Defense
don't have.
and big man.
I was gonna say they don't have a real big man, and they don't have like a proper secondary ball handler. You know you can't
Well,
force Kemba and Tatum to ISO score on every single possession.
do you like? I mean, Evan Fournier has done some secondary ball handling, some, not a lot, but some in Orlando. Do you think he? And, that's what he's there in Boston for. I don't know. I just
They can divide the duties up between him and Tatum and Kemba and Marcus Smart, I guess, unless I'm surprised that Danny Ainge didn't like step on a rake and hit himself in the face and trade Marcus Smart, to be honest, because I thought
okay.
they were going to do something dumb like that.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna panic trade. After last night's loss to the Bucks. And again, for all you guys, who are
Theus
watching
is
this,
gone. I don't understand that. He was good, if not
yeah,
great, and he was on a bargain contract.
and mind you guys, to our other viewers, who are watching this later on, we are recording this on deadline day, aka March 25th at like 5:44 Pacific. So heads up on that one if you guys are rewatching this. But again, like you said, they did give away Daniel Tice, who missed the possible game-winning shot last night for Boston versus Milwaukee. They traded him to Chicago for Mo Wagner, and again, like you
Wait,
said, they don't have a
Chicago?
true. Yeah, so Mo
I
Wagner
changed my
got
mind.
traded.
Chicago's actually a playoff team now.
Yeah, Mo Wagner got traded from Washington to Chicago, and then Chicago traded him to Boston.
Oh,
I don't get it with Boston. Like I think they could have just easily chilled out by just getting Fournier. Like okay, there you go, that's enough, right? But they made themselves worse by getting rid of like their one solid big guy in Daniel Tice and getting someone who's worse in Mo Wagner.
he's a little
Like Mo
taller,
Wagner
but that's
barely
about it.
played. Mo Wagner barely played, and he didn't even look that good. Like other than shooting the three a little bit better, like he's not better than Daniel Tice. So I don't know what the hell Boston's doing over there,
They wanted
but
someone who can hit the game winner, apparently,
I
because
guess so.
they
But
have
even then,
three. They have three elite scorers in their starting lineup, and apparently none of them could get the ball for that possession.
I don't know. Like I literally, Jason Tatum was wide open. Like he got open for a good amount, for a good amount of time to take the shot, but Daniel Tice was wide open for a reason. What I'm saying though is like I think with Boston, like Fournier was I think a solid move in a sense that they get a wing contributor
They get
that can help.
Hayward minus essentially.
Yeah, the Hayward light, except that I don't know, but Boston still they're 21 and 23 for a reason, and there's gonna be the reason why they're gonna probably finish around 500 because they're mediocre. That's pretty much it.
Welcome to the club, Boston. It's not fun,
Yeah,
is it?
we knew Boston's been frauds. We know this. Um, Continuing on with the Denver, or not the Denver, the Orlando fire sale. The final piece of the sale was Aaron
And
Gordon.
like the final piece of Denver, honestly, this was a great
I
trade.
yes. Denver traded with Orlando. Denver got Aaron Gordon in exchange. Orlando gets Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and a first rounder. Um,
Big,
yeah,
pretty,
Denver got a
pretty big.
huge upgrade.
No, like, look, pretty big. Like, I would say that is an accurate assessment of Aaron Gordon's value. I think there are
Yeah,
some people who falsely thought he was some kind of all-star because he does cool dunks. No,
yeah.
I think this is an accurate assessment of where he is. I think it is
Hmm.
accurate to say he might be upset that he's going to be a third option or a fourth option, but like he's probably still going to score more than he was in Orlando just because Denver's passing and finding slashers is so good. It's like the one thing that they might be better at than everyone else in the league is just Jokic
Hmm.
and Murray and even this, 30-year-old rookie keep finding these ridiculous like needle threading happy
Oh,
30th birthday Compazzo. I think it was
oh
yesterday or the day
gosh.
before. I'm
Oh my
serious.
God. I hate you. But continue. But keep going. Keep going.
It's a good fit. I think it's a really good fit. You need a competent slasher who can play defense, and he fits that role really well.
Yeah. And let's not forget though, Aaron Gordon can shoot threes too.
Mm,
Not at a consistent rate, but he can shoot threes. And again, look, Denver's right now the fifth seed. They have the opportunity to launch up the standings with how the Lakers have been dealing with LeBron and AD being gone. They could surge up to the third seed, maybe to the fourth seed. Who knows, right? But I think now when you have a starting lineup of Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, I'm going to assume Michael Porter Jr. now, and um, you know,
Mr. Gordon.
or yeah, Aaron Gordon. Does Will Barton start, you know, or does he come off the
Not
bench?
anymore.
Right.
No,
Like I know Paul Millsap starts.
Millsap might be going to the bench.
I don't know, but whatever
Millsap's.
it is,
I don't know.
like whatever it is, you have a solid, three man, you know, big quote unquote big three of Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. Um, you know, I
Really, it's
think,
Nikola Jokic and then Jamal Murray and
and Aaron
Aaron
Gordon.
Gordon are also pretty good.
I think it's a good deal for them because it boosts their. I mean, defensively, not they're still going to be a defensively bad team, but offensively, I think they're really they're boosting up a little bit.
I think it'll make them better though. I think Aaron Gordon
It,
is a
it,
is a decent defender.
he's a solid defender, but I think overall team defense, I don't know. Like because again, they've been a bottom five defensive team and
Mhm.
have not gone above the bottom five, right?
No, yeah, it's and
This won't this won't this won't tip the needle, but it'll at least help a little bit, right? But the point of it is though with Aaron Gordon is that you get a better offensive output than you would get with Gary Harris,
yeah,
right?
and I would
So
say
big
that's
W for
true.
that.
But you're also getting, I think, decent defense.
Yes. Yes.
Speaking of massive offensive output and decent to average defense,
Yeah.
this one hurts a little bit, guys. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
we're just gonna ignore Orlando getting Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, a first rounder.
Hmm?
We're just gonna ignore Gary Harris getting traded to Orlando.
I'm sorry.
You're just gonna ignore him?
I'm jumping in. I don't know anything about Gary Harris. Is he good?
No, he's washed now. Okay,
Okay.
that's about it.
What about RJ Hampton? What about RJ Hampton?
The only thing I do have to say yes is RJ Hampton, high potential guy. He didn't get a lot of minutes with the Nuggets. Probably will get a lot of minutes now with Orlando.
What
High
else? What they gotta
potential.
have
I have
players.
high hopes for him. That's all I have to say. Let's move on to the one that hurts a lot to you.
Norm Powell has been on the Raptors since he was drafted. We traded Grievous Vasquez for two picks. One was the Bucks, I believe, 2016 first round pick that would later become OG Anunoby, or
Okay.
2017. The other was a 2015 second round pick, I believe. I have to look this up so I get the date right. Um, yes, a 2015 second round pick. So that's, you know, and that pick would later go on to become Norman Powell. Now, Norman Powell, in his first year, in his rookie year, saved us in two separate playoff series. And this was his rookie year. No one expected this from him this early on. He helped us beat the Pacers, and he played some really good defense on Paul George and scored a lot
Mhm.
and had this amazing dunk. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's so great. He's going to be the next All-Star. And he fell off a little bit, and then he came back, middle of last year in a big way, and he's been playing amazing, and he's on an expiring contract, and second longest tenured Raptor until this morning, or rather this afternoon, when he was traded to Portland for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood. Um, and I think it is fitting because if you look at a picture of Norm and then look at a picture of CJ and Dame, as they don't really look like each other, but if you put a picture of
Mhm.
Norm in between them, Norm is kind of like the midway point between both of them. It's like he not CJ and Dame don't look like each other, but Norm looks like both of them.
Do you have an edit of that?
I don't, but like you can imagine it, right?
Okay, I'll try to imagine. I'll try to imagine. I'll try to
Okay.
imagine.
Like pull up Norm and then he's like a little bit of a cross between the two.
Okay, I'll try to imagine it. But from the Raptors fan deep inside, how do you feel?
Look, I think it's a little hard trading such a productive dude in what is, I think,
Max,
objectively the best year of his career.
I have him
A-
on a fantasy team, so yes, I agree.
Uh, look, honestly, your fantasy team's gonna be fine. He's gonna get like
Oh, I know.
15 shots a game, and like
Oh,
half
I
of them will go. He'll average probably similar numbers on the Blazers just because Dame has so much gravity,
yeah.
and he is, I think, behind Joe Harris and one other guy whose name escapes me. For high volume 3-point shooters, he is the best in the NBA, Norm Powell.
Hmm.
And it's hard to see him go, especially because he was such an important piece both of that year that we went to the conference finals for the first time and
Hmm.
of the Raptors championship run. He was really important during the Bucks series.
Yeah.
During the finals, he was pretty good. He wasn't, on the same level as Siakam or Lowry or Freddie, but he was solid for that whole playoff run. And look, we're gonna miss him. And
Hmm.
I think Gary Trent is he's younger Powell, but like I think with a little bit of a higher ceiling. And,
Hmm.
and and it's kind of a weird direction the Raptors are taking because they ended up not trading Lowry, which I think a lot of people thought they were going to do. At the end of the day, they couldn't get an offer that they felt was worth it, which I'm not like upset about. I'm a little confused by it, but like it's not something that makes me upset. It's like, no, it's they felt they couldn't get enough assets and they felt, look,
Hmm.
we can likely re-sign Lowry and we'll keep him for a little while longer. We'll trade him later if we truly think we need to move on from him. But if you're trading your franchises, I would say your franchise's favorite player essentially. He is. I
He's that
can't think.
guy for you.
Hmm?
He's that guy for you guys.
He means I don't. I'm not claiming he's as good as Dirk or anything like that, but he
Okay.
means probably the same amount. Like he is as important to this franchise
Mm.
as Dirk was to the Mavs. Maybe that's a
Okay.
slight overstatement, but he's up there.
Okay. Okay.
And look, Dallas wasn't great in the twilight of Dirk's, in the twilight of Dirk's career, but
Yeah.
I if we're not getting a really amazing haul for Lowry, and look, Lowry's still maybe not an all-star, but probably the next closest thing to it. If we're not getting a
Mhm.
great return for him, then you know what? Might as well keep him. Might as well have him, be a Raptor for a little longer. It's gonna have to end eventually, but I've enjoyed every second of watching that fat ass play.
Oh my god.
Don't edit that out. That's important to the point of what I was making. You can if you want to.
Oh
I
my
don't care.
god. Okay, so um from my point of view, I think this is a win-win trade. I know this whole sentimentality
It's hard to
of
get
it
over
all.
that.
Yeah, 100%. But I think this trade though is a win-win for both the Blazers and the Raptors. Because with Portland, you get a great, you get a great, secondary, not a secondary, but like you get a great role player, great shooter, Norman Powell, who's having a career year, right?
20
And
points on like 65% true shooting or
yeah,
something
and so
insane like that.
you pair that with like Dame, CJ, and Norm, you can make some noise in the Western Conference, especially when if anything, this is the year to really try to capitalize on a title run, and the benefit too, like Portland can resign. I believe I don't know if they get his do they get his bird rights if he if because of this
He
trade,
is going to be an unrestricted free agent because I don't imagine
but
he's going to take 11 million for his player
but
option.
does he get but does Portland get his bird rights though?
I don't know.
But I mean, regardless though, essentially though, like Portland does get the opportunity to keep him long term though.
They are he is bird rights. They do get his bird rights.
So yeah, so they can extend him over the cap, and this is a win for them. So they get the trial run. If it if it doesn't technically work out per se, or like it works out, but they still need more pieces. At least they know that they have a big you know they have another piece that that will help contribute alongside Dame, CJ, and Nurkic.
What if
And
Nurkic gets healthy, of course.
well, he's playing tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's back tonight. But
Hey, got breaking news, Nephew Hours exclusive.
no, this was announced earlier by himself. But
Right, yeah, I saw that.
but no, but like Norman Powell is pretty durable, like that I know.
He had some
Um,
freak injuries last year, but they were all unrelated, so that's not really like.
but he is a durable player, no? Like he is a pretty durable player, right?
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
like I said, he had some injuries last year, but they were all unrelated and they were all kind of freak accidents.
So that's the big part too here is that CJ, Nurk, sometimes Dame, they're pretty injury prone, right? Right, but well, not really Dame, but mainly Nurkic and CJ. But see now with Norm, you get someone that's durable, gets to stay on the court alongside Dame. Again, it's a great trade for Norm for the Blazers because you get more offense and you get a pretty good defender.
Yeah, and look, Norm has never been known for his defense, at least not. I think he. It's kind of a weird thing because the Raptors have basically never run a starting lineup with a bad defender until we started playing Baines at the starting five. Um, but like he's a pretty decent defender, I would say, and he is certainly a great individual defender. Off ball, he's a little less great, but I think that Portland is really going to love him. I think they
I think
they're
so too.
I think they're going to have if they want to run a 3 guard lineup like we've been doing,
I think they
they're
definitely will.
it's going to be a nasty. That's going to be a
Oh,
nasty.
I think they
Oof.
run out their starting five of, you know, Dame, CJ, Powell, um,
It's disgusting.
Covington, and then Nurkic. That's
It's
a great
gross.
offense. Great offense. To a team, an offensive team that's already good offensively, and then you have solid defenders now in Norm and Covington. So winning. So it's a win. It's a winning move for Portland. On the flip side, with Toronto, again, it's a win-win trade here. Toronto getting Gary Trent and Ronnie Hood. Look, Gary Trent um, had a breakout bubble, and he's been having a really solid year, especially in a contract year. Solid 3-point shooter, and then an offensive player. Defensively, I'm not sure on that one. That's
I've heard people say he's a
it's
great
a
defender. I've heard people say he's not so
it's
great.
a it's a mix. It's on and off. It's a mixed bag.
If he's on the Raptors, he'll like become a good defender. Like I'm not saying that in a cocky fashion.
Yeah,
It's like that Raptors kind of force their guys to be good
but
defenders.
but with this though, it does. At least it gives. I mean, you have you have the opportunity to sign him long term, which I think he'll get paid for sure by you guys, and I think it helps strengthen the young core that you guys are now trotting out of Fred Van Vliet, Gary Trent, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam. You know,
Yeah, and I know like Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet are 27. It's not super young. It's like I like that we're getting younger, and OG Anunoby is 23, and I like having a guy
mm,
who's around the same age as he is. And I think it's healthy to sort of build that team in like 3 year increments or whatever. But I admit, and this is gonna be sound like ridiculous to everyone who has not watched a Raptors game. I'm actually
mm.
so relieved that we also got Rodney Hood because
Okay, why though? Because I thought he was just a throw
we
in.
have had such horrible depth at the forward position and at the 3 and the 4. And
Uh
the
huh.
fact that Rodney is 6'8" and can play basketball at all at an NBA level is such a huge plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that like anyone who's like, oh, Rodney Hood's trash. Okay, yeah, he's probably still better than Yuta Watanabe. No offense, Yuta.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't want to, to slander those end of bench guys too hard, but this roster is kind of imbalanced. And what the Raptors did this year, this trade deadline, was they got rid of a bunch of shooting guards because we have like 6 of them or had 6 of them. Now we're down to a much more reasonable like 3 or 4 shooting guards. And
mm.
now we've got Rodney Hood, who's like an okay small forward replacement
And
kind of guy.
it's also like he's on a 1-year deal, so I mean,
It's
you
like
can decide if you
okay,
want to
yeah,
keep him longer too.
we probably won't, but like, okay, yeah, no, one
I
year
mean,
deal, fine.
if he pans out for Toronto, then yeah, sure, why not?
He's got a cool name, I will say that. Rodney Hood is a very nice
It
name.
is, it is. Any last thoughts on this one? Because I think it's like a win-win trade for um for both sides.
Sentimentality aside and everything else, I'm gonna pretend that all the crying I did last night was for Powell instead of Lowry, who didn't end up getting traded.
Yeah. So
Such a blue
so
ball.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the last trade I do want to bring up here. Um,
Fleeced, completely fleeced.
yes. So
Holy wow.
right as the clock hit, 3 p.m. Eastern, and the trade started matriculating. We got one Woj bomb, and it was that Miami was trading for Victor Oladipo. Um, for all our viewers and listeners that haven't that don't know the background and context of this, for the longest time, Victor Oladipo has been wanting to play in Miami. This has been known for the past year, and so now he gets to be in
He would
Miami.
ask people like other teams to their
Yes.
face. He did it with Miami, he did it with Toronto, and he did it with New York.
Now he did. Now he gets his one true, wish in Miami. He gets to sign like a huge extension to Miami now. Um, so the problem here is in this trade. Obviously, Victor Oladipo did get traded to Houston earlier in the James Harden trade, but now in return, Houston gets Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a 22 pick swap, and that is it. That is all they get. That is all they get in this trade. Um, so
So
you know,
so
before we get into Houston, I do want to say Miami easily won this deal. Miami gets Victor Oladipo,
they
like he's
kept
always
Hero.
wanted. Eh, They literally kept Tyler
They
Hero,
didn't have
Duncan
to give
Robinson,
up anyone.
Kendrick Nunn. Yeah, they literally did not have to give up anybody, and that's insane to me.
Not a
Um,
single like Kelly Olynyk is 29. And I don't know how old Avery Bradley is, but he's been injured like the whole season.
so here's my thing, right? And I guess we're just gonna go straight into the Houston Rockets slander. Um, so
Well, we should talk a little bit before about like what the Heat this means for the Heat, and I would say this
okay, what it
is
means for the Heat, it gives them a secondary ball, secondary scorer, secondary ball handler, right next to Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, um, and Bam Adebayo. It gives them another great defensive presence. That though is to be seen because of we've seen how washed he can be if and then we've seen it in Houston in early part of the season with Indiana before he got traded. However, now that he's with a competitive team that's competing for a title, maybe it does pan out.
yeah, and we
You
can
know,
say that we can now say yeah they're competing for a title because last year's roster made the finals, and I understand it was kind of a weird situation in the East because I
yeah,
think the Heat had a really good matchup against the number one seed in the East that we all thought was going to make it to the finals.
yeah, and I
Um,
mean, again, the bubble run was different because you had Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson go absolutely nuclear,
just insane.
but again, they're incredibly you know, uh, underperforming.
They're
So
now, but like I would say now, no, Heat are probably like top four team in the East. Maybe
I mean, I think they've always been a top four team in the East.
I think you're right, and I think look, COVID has kind of messed up. Like I no offense to any of the teams, but like there's no way the Raptors are worse than like 10 teams in the East. Like I don't
Yeah,
believe that. It's like no, it's
yeah.
because they went on an 8 game losing streak because sorry 9 game because of COVID, and they lost a bunch of coaches, and then they lost a bunch of players to COVID as well.
Mhm.
Also,
Okay.
Tampa Bay probably wasn't helpful. Thanks a lot, Tampa,
Yikes.
for cheering for the other team when we're playing in your arena.
Yikes.
Thanks for the
Um.
"We want taco" chants. Those were real, you
Oh
know.
gosh. I mean, that was fun. Come
We
on.
have to give up Norm Powell because of your stupid chants, Tampa.
Gosh. But anyway,
It was mean,
gosh, going back to Miami though. Again, like
just like
l-
Oladipo.
I do like the Oladipo pickup. Again, remains to be seen how washed he is, or if he actually tries and improves. But again, this puts Miami in a good position to really compete for the title.
At the
Will
very
they,
least, to get to the finals.
at the very least, Eastern Conference Finals? Maybe
I,
Eastern.
I I
At the
would say
very
that's
least,
their
just get
goal.
some.
I would say that's their goal.
At the very least, they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Depending on who they play in the second round.
Look, nobody's gonna. Here's the thing: nobody's gonna like say, "Oh my God, the Heat they messed up this if they don't make the conference finals." Because one, because they made the finals last year when literally nobody expected them to, and
Hmm.
ended up putting forth even down a bunch of players a really
Hmm.
impressive like showing in the finals. I would say, given the
Hmm.
circumstances. No, so no one's gonna be like, "Oh my God, they messed up. They're so bad."
Hmm.
But yeah, no, that's a good. I think you want to aim high if you're the
I
Heat.
agree
And
with you.
look, when your team is good enough to kind of maybe make the conference finals, well, why not try
You
to
take
make
that
them?
shot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Look,
But
the comparison I'd make was when the Raptors traded a bunch of stuff for Serge Ibaka and ended up making the conference finals. It worked out for them.
mm, okay. But yeah, I mean, look, we've said it, but I think though with Miami, like it's a win not only because they didn't have to give up anything, but again, secondary ball handler, great defender, and they know they can they can lock up Oladipo long term and solidify their core of Victor Oladipo, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, and they've got enough young talent down the pipeline. It's like,
Yes.
okay, well now the Heat are, I guess they're kind of perennial contenders because if we have a year where there's
Mm.
kind of a slump or a couple of different teams get worse, then okay, yeah, the Heat are still going to be there because they're young enough overall that they're not really going away. Bam is what, 23?
Yes, I believe so.
It's they're not going away. The Heat are going to be around here for a long, long time, and we're going to have to learn to deal with them as a force with the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Nothing's ever changed.
They're going to be
Like they're never bad. They're bad for
they've never
maybe
been
1 year.
bad. They were
They're
bad for
like,
1 year, the year like right before Dwayne Wade retired, and that was it.
yeah, and then here they are back
And
again.
they weren't even that bad that year. They were like 40 and 42. It's like
I know. Whatever.
stupid
Oh well,
good
look,
Heat
but
with their
I
smart
know
decisions,
Pat Riley and all of his stuff.
being good at stuff.
But
Ugh.
I mean, look, I mean, I don't know. I just
You know who's
this
not
team
good at stuff?
with yeah. Last point before I get into that with Miami. Look, I think they can get to these conference finals. Will they put up a fight against Brooklyn? Definitely for sure. I don't know. I don't know. The thing though with Depot, it's a high risk, high reward in a sense
Like
because
there's
again we've seen how washed he can be, and if he plays like he did in Houston, Miami's kind of like screwed. Anyway,
well, I mean, they're not screwed though because they didn't give anything up. It's
yeah,
like,
but
okay, if
no,
he
but
sucks, send him to the bench.
they're banking on the fact that they're Oladipo's gonna produce. They're banking on that
True,
though. That's the
true.
thing. On
But
the
again,
flip
like
side, oh sorry, whoa, sorry,
I
I
just
keep
want to
cutting
say
you off.
one thing.
What's
The,
up?
the thing about the Heat Nets thing, it's like I'm of two minds about the Nets. One is, oh, they're not like an unbeatable force. Like they can be beaten.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, right, they have Kyrie, Katie, and James Harden. Like
Hmm.
they might just completely crush everyone.
I know, Nets in 5 every round.
It's like, it's like
uh,
seriously considerable.
I know. That's just 16-0 it. All right. Like the
Hey,
Warriors,
O'Shea Brissett
like
signing
the
a contract
Warriors.
with the
Who?
Pacers.
Who?
Hmm?
There you go. Who?
O'Shea Brissett.
Okay, cool. Whoever.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Um.
He was on our team last year.
Oh well. Oh come on. Who? Who? I'm
He's
kidding.
he's a
I'm
G
kidding.
League guy. No, you're right. He's a G League guy. You should be
Um.
saying who.
On the flip side, though, the one team that is an absolutely poverty franchise now, with a poverty front
What the
office,
hell are you doing?
is the Houston Rockets. Look, I don't know how in the world you end up with Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk
And a
when
and a pick swap for a team that you're going to be worse than.
the pick swap is literally lottery protected. What in the
It's
hell?
lottery protected too.
I don't get it.
How do you? I didn't even know it was possible to do a lottery protected pick swap.
Legitimately, at the bare minimum, I thought they would have at least gotten maybe Kendrick Nunn at the very bare minimum. Like
They did.
if
It's like they didn't even ask.
Miami was so stubborn and not wanting to give up either Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero, at the very bare minimum, Houston gets Kendrick Nunn. But
And I
no,
need to.
they
I'm
get
sorry.
neither of them.
I need to say this. I need to say this because this is a
What's
very
up?
important point to make. The best thing they got out of this deal with Kelly Olynyk, they already have
Yeah,
Christian Wood. They already have Christian Wood.
it is so poverty. Like I think this.
It's you got another whiter Christian Wood.
Oh my
It's
god,
like a
it's so
whiter,
bad.
worse Christian Wood.
What's terrible is that like what's so terrible, like this has got like Tillman Fertitta's disgusting fingerprints on him because he's such a cheap, terrible owner. Um, you know, like Raphael Stone is proving to be like a dog water, dog shit like GM. Like he has absolutely no idea what the hell he is doing.
Can the NBA like give Steven Silas a real job? I'm sorry, this is
Yes,
not.
I of all people on that team, I feel the most bad for
He
Steven
came
Silas
in to
because he has to
coach
deal with that.
Harden and Westbrook, and he's
And now
getting
he has
Kelly Olynyk
oh god,
and the
and broken
and
John Wall.
yeah, and the ghost of John Wall.
Like it is absolutely terrible. And the fact like they had Karis LeVert and Jared Allen right on their laps.
They could have just taken them. They're
And
great,
they
both of
and they
them.
said and look at them. Jared Allen's balling out in Cleveland. Karis LeVert just dropped 28 in a game winner for Indiana.
That was beautiful. Wasn't that like his first game back or something?
It was like his it was a couple he's been back for a while, but he's
That
finally
was
getting into the
beautiful.
groove of
That was
things.
awesome.
But with this, all right, like all this kind of wraps up the whole haul for the James Harden trade that started this all, right? So I want to read this to you. So this is what the Rockets got for James Harden overall. James Harden, as we know,
Okay.
league MVP, one of the best scorers of all time. Now
He's
with the
going to
Brooklyn
be
Nets,
he's going to be
and
for
up
as long as he is a starter quality player, he will be in the MVP conversation. That's just the kind of guy
yes,
he is.
and possibly championship winning player now with Brooklyn,
Who
right?
knows?
Alongside Kyrie and KD.
Possibly Finals MVP. Actually, he's been
Yes,
so
yes,
good. He's been
which is
so
crazy.
so good.
Which is crazy to think on a team with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Um, gosh, I love my team so much.
It's like
Anyway,
I don't know how you have a standout year playing alongside guys that like amazing. But
literally,
it's like
yeah. Like before we get off topic, like for context, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are averaging almost 30 points a game, and
it's like still
Harden's
the best. Like,
Harden's Harden's averaging 25 points a game and 11 assists. That's how dominant this team is. Healthy. Anyway, going back to it, this is how bad Houston is as a front office because Raphael Stone is absolutely dog shit. I swear to God, I could probably GM better, and I have no experience GMing other than doing this on 2K.
okay,
I can probably do this better.
Silas, come here, come to the Raptors. I guarantee you, by the end of the next
Free,
week, you'll be a coach of a different
free
team.
him,
You'll be like
free
the
him
Kings
because
coach or something.
I can do this better with just 2K than Raphael Stone and Tillman Fertitta. But anyway, the final haul for James Harden for the
Okay,
Rockets was 9 first round picks
okay,
and
good so
swaps.
far. Good so far.
No, because those swaps are with teams that are gonna finish better than them. So there's no point in swapping, and that's half of them. Four or five, so five of those nine are pick swaps with teams
Okay,
that are gonna be
four
better than
first
them.
round picks is still pretty good for even for a guy as good as James Harden.
Yeah, but again, those like you're only getting 4 first round picks.
Still,
Only
it's
four instead of the nine. Instead of like a full nine, you're only getting four. Um, you only got 20 games of Victor Oladipo, who was
ooh,
washed, and you only got Avery Bradley, who's barely played,
because he's
and
hurt.
you got Kelly Olynyk, um, who's not even that great,
He's
solid
actually
but
had a
not
really good
great.
year. He's actually had a really good year.
Yes, but he's not like gonna help you out
He's
legitimately if
worse
you're
than
a huge
Christian Wood. It's like
yes.
you already have Christian Wood. You don't need him.
And then Dante Exum, who barely even plays.
Quite frankly, I was hoping they would like slide Kelly Olynyk to us or something, but like you
So
don't need him.
literally anyway, that is what they got. Again, Houston is just such a poverty franchise. I feel so bad. Like what? I don't even feel that bad because it's Tillman Fertitta. I fucking hate that guy. Worst fucking owner in the league. Hate that guy.
Yeah,
Um
well, now we thought it was Dolan, but it turns out Dolan is playing the
yeah,
long game because now he has a decent
yeah,
team.
like Tillman Fertitta of like first of all scum of the earth person. Look up his book Shut Up and Listen. Obviously you know what that means. Um in
It
terms of political aspects and political thinking. Um what you call it is very cheap. Um look, during the whole pandemic, a lot of team owners and are and whatnot where I just realized how dark my room got. I am so
it's
sorry.
incredibly dark. It's like you're
Sorry,
super villain.
sunset set in. I'll turn on the lights when when I finish my thought here. But look, Tillman Fertitta, super cheap. Look, during the pandemic, again, a lot of businesses and a lot of like companies were hit hard, especially with like a lot of NBA team governors, right? However, as far as I know, Fertito's like the only one that didn't go out of his way to like try to pay out his employees or try to keep them like afloat during the pandemic, during the shutdown. Scum of the earth is not willing to touch the luxury tax to provide a winning team. All of these trades that he's done as an owner have been cost cutting moves. Yeah, literally, literal piece of shit. So I mean, he somehow has taken over Dolan, Sarver, Gilbert, and Glenn Taylor as the worst possible owner in the league.
And let me say this: the team he started with is one of the best. Was one of the best teams in the league for years.
They were literally
They
over
were a
like
hamstring away from beating the KD
not
Warriors.
they're not even not only a hamstring away, they're at least maybe one or two 3 pointers away from beating the Warriors. Because if they didn't go over 27, they could have easily won the finals, and we would not have be having this discussion.
Well, because there was nobody. LeBron James' best two teammates have been hurt. It's
But
like
like literally, like they are so dog shit. I don't even like. I feel bad for the city of Houston and Steven Silas and some of the players on that roster. But I do not feel bad for Raphael Stone and Tillman Fertitta because again, Tillman Fertitta is a piece of shit. Fucking hate that guy.
I will say this.
Does not belong in the NBA.
I need to say this. I remember Stephen A. Smith. I think people kind of dismissed him when he was ranting about like black coaches being treated poorly in the league. No,
Mhm,
I think I kind of get what he's saying now because the way that Steven Silas was treated, and I'm not saying that
mhm.
that it's only black coaches who get thrown under the bus. I thought Kenny Atkinson personally. I'm not saying he was this
Oh crap!
amazing coach, but I feel like he didn't get a chance to
Oh
really
my
coach
god.
a real team. Um, I don't think I've ever seen someone get thrown under the bus like that. Like he came in because he thought he was coaching Westbrook and Harden, one of the best duos in the
Mhm,
league. And let's be real, Westbrook was amazing last year. He's fallen off a little bit, and then he seems to be getting sort of back on the horse now. And then
mhm.
now he's got John Wall, but like only kind of John Wall, and Christian Wood, who's okay. I would say pretty good actually. Probably will be the best player on that team in a couple years. And Kelly Olynyk. Ooh, you got Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, I know. I heard you. Don't worry. I just had to quickly turn on my lights so it's not dark and everyone can see me, and I don't look like a locked character. But continue. I'm so sorry.
Well, that was it. It's like they went from Westbrook and Harden to John Wall, Christian Wood, and Kelly Olynyk. Those are the three best players, unless I'm forgetting someone.
I mean, at this point, I mean, at least they're tanking for Cade Cunningham.
I thought their pick was going to OKC.
Uh, eh, oh my God, is it? Is it
I
really?
think it might be. 1 second.
I'm looking at Tankathon right now. Hold on, give me a second. I'm looking at Tankathon. Um, it's no. It's protected 1 through 4.
Oh, okay. So if they get
It's
the fifth
protected
pick,
1 through 4.
okay.
So
Sam Presti's sitting on his
it,
pile of picks, just
so if
laughing.
so
Chris
if
Paul is
you
now he's on the second best team in the West.
so if Houston were to have the worst lottery odds and finish fifth in the lottery, they would get the worst of whatever OKC and Miami have. So they get the worst possible pick possible. So
Yeah, they'd get the
yeah,
24th pick from Miami.
oh my gosh, Houston's just down horrendous and down atrocious. Oh my god.
I can't talk shit. I'm a
I
Raptors fan.
No, they're down atrocious. I can't. No. Like my
You can
my
talk
last
shit because you're a Nets fan. They're probably
my
gonna win the
last
chip
point.
this year.
I mean, it's a broken record, but with the amount of slander I can say, but oh my gosh, like anyone could probably GM better than Raphael Stone did because that is just horrendous GMing. And a lot of it you can pin on Tim and Fertitta for being cheap, but like I'm responsible for like fielding a competitive roster, and clearly, like he did not at all.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
there's a couple more headlines from this week. I think LMA says LMA here. LaMarcus Aldridge being bought
Yeah,
out is a kind of a big one. And I think
yeah, but
did he
it's
go to
already
the Heat
reported that he's
yet?
gonna go.
Is it official?
It's al- it won't be official until Monday, but it's reported that he's gonna first. He's picking Miami.
Yeah, realistically, he's
From
going to the Heat, which good for
I
them.
I believe that Ira Wyndham or whatever I forgot his name. The trusted Miami Heat beat writer said that Miami it's gonna be Miami. So then I mean it's always been reported to be Miami to begin with. So yeah. But last point, Houston, I feel to the city of Houston and all to the Rockets fans, I feel sorry for you. But
Also,
yeah, you
Astros fans, because your team are
no, fuck the
cheater.
Astros. Yeah,
Yeah, fuck the
fuck
Astros.
them, fuck them. But yeah,
Uh,
look, look to the Houston Rockets fans, um, and to this city of Houston in general, you better pray to God you keep your pick. You
and
gotta
your
pray to God.
Christian Wood.
You gotta pray to God that you gotta pray to God that the lottery gods are nice to you.
Just make a Photoshop of Cade Cunningham and Christian Wood, and just hold on to that every night before you go to
Oh,
sleep.
you gotta. Um. Anyway, last trade I do want to bring up uh briefly was George Hill getting traded to the
Oh
from
my
Oklahoma
God,
City.
that league-changing league!
Yeah.
You could
So
have had Kyle Lowry or Lonzo Ball, and
yep,
you went for George Hill.
George Hill got traded to Philly. Once I so my quick thought on this because this is going to lead into the Kyle Lowry thing. My quick thought was once I saw Philly get George Hill, I knew they're out of the running. There was reports saying like, oh, they're not really out of the running, but I knew they're out of the running.
I
But
look,
yes,
George Hill's, old dude, good shooter. I don't know how great he's going to be, but in his old age, but weird. It's weird we say old age. He's like 35 or something. I don't know how
mhm.
old he is. So is Lowry, honestly. Um, how
I
old is
just don't know
George
how he
Hill?
held. He's like 30 something,
He
but
is
it's kind of like
34.
yeah, like I mean, look, it's like a
It's okay. Secondary ball handler, shooter.
yeah, he's like I mean, George Hill's like a I guess he's a consolation prize to it, I guess. But I mean, look, George Hill's not gonna put George Hill is not gonna like
Like he was
put
great last year. I don't know how he's been this year.
no, in my opinion, I just don't think George Hill's gonna put like the Philly over the top if they want to win a championship.
He's actually
If you
he's actually he's actually 12 points per game on 60%
like
efficiency.
literally, if
That's
no,
pretty
but
damn good.
it's solid. But like, is he gonna really contribute to you going over the hump and winning a championship?
It,
No,
here's the thing.
no,
Here's
he
the thing
won't.
for me. Here's the thing for me.
Okay, what?
Philly has their best chance to win this year. I think this is a. I think actually with MVP play with MVP'd, uh, this is their best chance. I think it's even better than 2019 when they had that stacked team with Redick and
Mm,
Butler. I think
mm,
this is their best chance. If you are not willing to trade for Lowry, like if you're not willing to push all your chips to the center of the table, okay, look, that's fine. But if you lose on a block charge call, then don't come crying to us. Like and it really is that. It's like, okay,
yeah.
I think aside from
So
Nets, I think the conference
yeah,
finals is going to be Nets Sixers. That is my prediction for the
I think
conference
that's like
finals.
yeah, it's gonna be Nets versus either the Sixers or the Bucks for sure, one hundred
Mhm.
percent.
And
But
that is, I think, a safe prediction. And
I just think I just think not going for the home run is gonna bite Philly in the ass because look, you had a legitimate shot at getting James Harden, fumbled the bag, right?
but
You
the
had a-
thing is, though, the difference between that is they were asking for Simmons. Masai wasn't asking for Simmons. He wanted 2 first-round picks, which is granted for
but
a
no, but no, they were gonna. I think I remember. I swear to God, they were gonna do like a Simmons for Harden sweep or swap. But
but that's a
look,
big ask. That's a big ask. I
anyway,
understand that.
though, like you could have gotten Harden. You fumbled the bag on that one. Brooklyn has him now. You could have gotten Kyle Lowry, game changer for your team. Fumbled the bag, um, and now you're stuck with George Hill, and you know,
And I'm gonna say this. Sorry, continue and finish first.
I just look, if Philly's really trying to capitalize this year, they haven't done a great job at doing it surrounding Embiid with, I get it. Simmons and Tobias Harris are solid players, but you need like one more player to try to compete with like the firepower that is Brooklyn.
We traded in 2019 Jonas Valanciunas. I think he had been with the team for 7 years. He was one of our only ever lottery picks.
Mhm,
Uh, I think it was him and DeMar on the team at that point, and not much else.
mhm,
And we traded him, and we traded draft capital, and we traded for Mark Gasol, who was like 80 million years old, making $80 million or whatever.
mhm.
And we went for it because we said, look, for this 1 year, for this one moment, for this moment in time, this is what we need. Turns out it was the right decision.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Philly could have done that, and they
yeah,
didn't. Philly could have
yeah,
done that, and they chose not to.
and that's what's gonna bite them in the ass. That's it.
We'll see.
Like,
All I'm going to say is we'll see. We'll see if they are going to regret not taking it. And
I
look,
think they
I'm going to
and
be
I'm
honest. er,
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm going to be honest. I think Masai's asking price was pretty high, but yeah, look, for a guy who has done as much as he has for the Raptors, yeah, no, the price was high. Price was pretty high for Gasol too.
Mhm.
But we paid it and we won. And look, they didn't pay it, and we don't know. We don't know
Yeah,
what's going to happen. I would bet on the Nets, but it's
I mean, anyone
it's
would.
the NBA because
Yeah,
the Nets have the three
everybody.
best scorers in the league, arguably.
Um, my last note on this one is again, um, look, George Hill's a solid player, and like I'm not saying this like because like I'm anti Philly or anything. Like, look, Philly has a great team. Like, they're the number one team in the East
Amazing,
right now.
amazing.
Right? They're a great team. It's just
Morey has done
like
wonders.
like you said, like, and it's been evidenced throughout the years. If you want to win a championship, you go all out.
You got to risk it.
Yeah, the Warriors did it with obviously KD. Miami did it with their big three. Now you have Brooklyn going all in with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden.
And look,
Right?
after those teams have traded, yeah, no, they their futures they suffered a little bit of hiccup.
But
Warriors
they'll be
now their
back.
futures uncertain. Yeah, Warriors, Raptors, uh, Heat. They were all look, Warriors, their future's uncertain. Raptors, future uncertain. Heat,
Yeah.
look what happened with them. Oh yeah, no, now they're great again. It's like you get better because people like going to winning teams, and winning
Yeah.
teams breed
And
success in
and
their
and that's the
players.
and that's the thing though too is like, look, you might be bad for maybe 1 or 2 years. Like, look, the Warriors had a really terrible year last year. They're starting to slowly come back into form, slowly, ever so slowly. Toronto might be doing the same thing. I'm just saying, like, look,
I would guess that that was what would
yeah, like
happen.
we'll see what happens in the Eastern Conference, but it's gonna Philly may or may not, have gone way too conservative on it. But speaking on Kyle Lowry, literally the fact that we got no Kyle Lowry or Lonzo Ball trade after all this rumors and drama and emotional moments, like literally last
I
night.
cried last night. I'm not gonna lie, I
Yeah, like
cried.
last night we had Kyle Lowry looking sad at the camera, doing the peace sign and everything. He had Drake call him during a press conference, and I'm like, oh my god, like he knows he's gonna get traded tomorrow. And you know what? For everything that's happened, we got blue balled to hell because absolutely nothing happened and it pissed me off. You have
I'm
all
so
this
sorry.
drama pent up and there's just nothing.
Let's go
I'm
Raptors.
so I am s I wouldn't even be like if you got traded to the Sixers or the Heat, like so be it. Like at least it happened. Or the freaking Lakers, so be it. Like it happened, you know?
Come on, they were look, if they weren't gonna add
But
freaking Talon Horton Tucker or whatever his name is,
for
they were
whatever
never
reason, I don't
serious.
know why.
They were never serious.
But seriously though, like, oh my gosh, so annoying. That's
I
all I
thought
have
it
to say. That is
honestly,
all I have to say to that.
honestly, I thought it was hilarious.
That is all. No, no, it is not funny. You do not
It's
build up.
really
You
fun.
do not build up all. this drama for nothing. That's
You
all I
know
have to
what?
say on this.
You know what's even funnier is we're probably gonna do the same thing next year.
No, because he's a free agent now, right?
Yeah, so do the same thing in free agency.
Oh God. Well, whatever. You know what? Oh God. Whatever. That's
It's
all I
gonna
have to
be
say
it's
about it.
game 5 against the Nets. We're down 30, and then it's gonna be
God.
it's Lowry, and then he's gonna resign for another 2
I.
years.
Oh God. If it happens, I'm gonna be so pissed. Look,
It's gonna be
look.
amazing. It's gonna be
I
awesome.
wanted
It's gonna be hilarious.
I wanted Lowry traded. I wanted Lonzo because it would have changed like the landscape of the NBA. I also wanted Lonzo traded to Chicago.
That one I didn't really understand. I don't understand why they're so eager to move off Lonzo. Who's gonna be
I
your
don't either.
point guard?
I
Bledsoe? You want
yeah,
Bledsoe
I
as
don't
your
know.
starting point guard?
And also, what pissed me off more too is that they said that he wasn't part of their long term plans, but then didn't even trade him. So what the hell?
So whose plans is he a
Um,
part of?
I don't know. It's up to whoever wants him in free agency at
Like
this
he's
point.
young. Is he going into free agency?
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent though.
Okay, well, see, they might do a sign-in trade or something, but like,
I know, but
why
like
not
still
just
though.
trade him now then? If you really
Yeah,
don't think he's part of your
I
long-term
don't know.
plans,
I don't
and
know.
I guess my next question is why isn't he part of your long-term plans? Because he's pretty
I don't know
good.
because David Griffin's kind of weird. Um, I don't know. Um, Other than that, the one trade I'm happy that didn't go down. Spencer Dinwiddie's still a net. Thank you, Sean Marks. Thank you, Based.
You were joking about like Spencer Dinwiddie for Norm Powell straight up. Don't even lie.
Yeah, we were memeing, but deep down inside, I genuinely wanted him to stay.
Would have it,
Sentimentality,
it would have been pretty dirty to trade him after being injured.
yeah, and it's also sentimentality. And plus, if you actually pay attention to his rehab, though, that's some crazy stuff. Because yeah, his rehab is like way ahead of schedule. If you watch the videos.
No,
Anyway,
he was pretty good.
he looks pretty good. Um, anyway, last kind of note here.
Oh shit! I just realized Norm's first game as a Blazer is going to be against the Raptors.
That's so great. That's so great.
Ugh. Wait, are they just gonna go? Is he just gonna travel with them to
Gosh.
Portland? Oh, that's gonna
Oh.
be weird.
Anyway,
Okay, okay,
um,
okay. Thanks for the ride, guys. Gonna go to my new
la-
team now.
last couple point here. The buyout market is now in full effect now. Um, after the trade, after the whole trade deadline, and all the dust is settled, it's the buyout market. For all listeners that that don't know yet, with the buyout market, it's more so that uh, it's in a sense that when a player is not able to be traded, they'll kind of negotiate with their team, and essentially pay pay a team pay the team to not be on the team anymore, and the team will also pay them to not be on the team anymore, and whatnot. So, um, that's essentially what it. So that we're in buyout season now, in the sense that uh, players like Lamarcus Aldridge and Andre Drummond were not able to be traded, and so now they got Lamarcus Aldridge and Andre Drummond are now being bought out. That's something to take note of in the next coming days up until April 9th. And so do pay attention to those names and Otto Porter Jr. As far as I've been reading and I've been, seeing on Twitter, it's seemingly looking like Lamarcus Aldridge and Andre Drummond are going to go to the Miami Heat and Los Angeles Lakers, respectively.
Drummond on the
So,
Lakers makes sense. They like people who put up empty stats, right? Sorry,
oh
it's the
my God,
worst thing I've ever said. I think
what is the what? Oh my God, I hate you. Anyway, that is all the news that I
empty
have.
stats, LeBron. Empty stats, Anthony
Shut up.
Davis.
Shut up.
Never.
Damn well that Andre Drummond's gonna help that team a lot.
No, he will. And look, I hate to say we warned you about Gasol, but we warned you.
I feel bad. I
I
feel bad.
he's Look, he's had a great career. He's probably a Hall of Famer, but yeah, look, every career comes to an end.
I know. Anyway, last thing, last note I want to say on to everybody again. Um, thank you guys for tuning in, always supporting us. From the bottom of our hearts, love all the support. If you guys haven't already, um, do subscribe, do give us a follow. Appreciate everything.
Yep.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on our social medias on Twitter, Instagram. Um, again, sorry for like the lack of uh content, the past couple of weeks.
It's been a
We've
lot.
been it's been yeah, a lot of things have been going on in our personal lives. School, work, um,
Dog issues, a lot of dog
a
issues.
lot of dog issues too. I got a puppy that I just got taken care of.
Yeah. My dog just had
It's a lot of
surgery,
work.
is
Oh, he's
incredibly
doing.
high.
Is she doing all right?
Yeah, she is doing well. She's out there right
Awesome,
now.
awesome. Yeah, my puppy's also outside of my room right now.
She's on sedatives. She was very high. She peed on the floor.
Oh gosh, I hope I need it. I'm still working on potty training my puppy right now. But yeah, we're trying to work on being more consistent. Been busy. I just recently got accepted to grad school, so I'm figuring all that out.
Everyone give a
Um,
big hand to our
thank you,
boy.
thank you. I'm staying home. I ain't leaving. So more content that way. But yeah. So
Got that
again,
Kyle
seriously though.
Lowry energy.
Oh hell yeah, I got that loyalty in my blood. Shout out, yeah, I got that Steph Dame energy. But seriously though, from the bottom of our hearts, through everything, thank you guys for sticking out through, sticking through with us. Um, with that, Dan, seriously, thanks for coming out on for an emergency pod, quick, quick
Shout out,
notice.
shout out to the Bulls. Shout out to Denver. Shout out to Miami, and
Oh
anti
yeah,
shout out to the
definitely.
Rockets.
Oh yeah, all praise and love to all the teams in the NBA except for the Houston Rockets for being just
So
a stain on the earth. Um,
that's
and
just like
also
I
though,
feel bad for Steven Silas. So bad
we
for that
know,
dude.
we know. Also, big shout out to our producer Bull. A lot of this would never happen if he wasn't here. So big shout out to him. If you guys ever had the chance, seriously, give him a thank you. But with that, again,